Yeah, so here we go again. I'm taking a break from driving for the moment at one of the tactically least well positioned petrol stations. I would believe so, because 10k that way, the fuel is 10 cents a litre cheaper. Um, I am at the Polish border, well, not immediately, but the closest petrol station too, so yeah. Reason I'm here is I decided I had to take a break from driving. I wouldn't claim my driving to have been unsafe, but was not as safe as I would like. So I'm forcing myself to take a break to reset the mind, I guess. I don't know. Oncoming traffic didn't deem it safe, though I had 100 meters plus margin to them by the time I was back in my lane. Then again, 100 meters can be what? Approximately 2.5 seconds, considering they are perhaps going more than double the speed limit. I didn't deem it tight, and I thought they were going the speed limit. It appeared to me that way, and I'd been observing them for quite a while before, because it's a hella long straight. It's just I cannot legally overtake earlier than that. Yeah, but I am actually shaking. It's not nicotine withdrawal. It's just the idea of I don't like how I drove. Admittedly, not to make up excuses, I guess, but I'll mention it anyways. The reason I did so is paragraph 1, number 2, but paragraph 1, number 1 is shouldn't endanger others. And they did feel endangered, though there was more than 2.5 seconds till we were to meet one another. Then again, 2.5 seconds is not that much time, and I understand why, which is why I'm taking a break, because I can't keep driving like this. It's kind of a bummer. Reason I done it is there was a vehicle in front of me going less than half the speed limit, and I was starting to feel the social pressure of the queue behind me, I guess. I shouldn't let myself be pressured like that. It's really not good. I am actually considering, well, I'm considering it, but I stopped considering it the moment I said I am considering, so it's not really considering, I guess. I was considering taking a break from driving, but at this time I have no other way of getting around, and I have commitments which require me to get around. I guess that is the conflict of unfit for driving people still driving. I don't think I'm at the point where I'm unfit for driving, but I think I'll keep driving to a minimum for the near future, or I'll try to. If I need to get out the house, I need to get out the house. That's just how it's going to be. But I don't like it. I guess it's still the internal peace. Admittedly, 2.5 seconds, if they were to go double the speed limit, is probably not enough. And again, they shouldn't be going double the speed limit. If they aren't, it's like 4 seconds, 5 seconds. Don't sit well with me, though. I'm still shaking. Nicotine withdrawal or not, I'm highly confident it is not, because I've had a cigarette not that long ago. I am really sweaty. That is because the outside temperature is 31.5 degrees centigrade, and I'm parked in the shade. Kind of surprising, I guess. Well, not surprising, it's just summer. Current drink is cream soda, because I noticed I still have one in the fridge, but this is almost finished, and after that it shall be the Irn-Bru I acquired yesterday. Oh. The second overtaking of the two was certainly unnecessary. The first one was necessary and perfectly fine, legally and with my ethics. It's just oncoming traffic didn't like it. By the time I could see them gesturing, I was back in my lane for about 2 seconds. So I don't know why they were gesturing. Then again, people feel differently, I guess. They may have been speeding, I wouldn't know. I had thought they weren't, but they may have. Who knows? The second was less necessary, definitely, which is why I've decided to sit here and talk to myself. I don't know if I'll upload this, to be frank, because though I am all in favour of transparency and so on, this is me in a weak moment. I don't like that. It's definitely not good. Whew, and I'm hella sweaty. I actually got sweat drops on my arm. You probably can't even see it, but there's sweat drops forming just because I'm sweating to shit, man. I deemed both maneuvers safe. The second was unnecessary, though it was still within my eyes safe. I shouldn't be doing this shit though. I mean, not for comparison's sake or so, but in general, full stop. I should have all the time in the world. I got all the time in the world. I ain't got nowhere to be today. Yet I ain't got the inner peace in me to sit there doing half the speed limit. I think it's just, I still have a hard time sticking to the spirit of the law instead of the letter of the law. Because the letter of the law, unless you're looking for parking, which you can certainly not do there because it's not legal to park anywhere around there, you shouldn't be going half the speed limit. Unless your car's broken down, in which case you might want to do your hazards and try and get off the road, which they did not either. So I don't know what's going on in them. And I don't even know if that's going on in me, but I highly suspect that may have been my thinking behind it, or my subconscious pressuring me. Weren't thinking, to be fair. But that may have something to do with it, just because it don't sit right with me having 50 cars plus behind me, what feel like 50 cars. In reality, it was probably 20 some. But it's still not right. Others shouldn't feel hindered by me just because I ain't got my peace. I ain't got enough inner peace. On the other hand, I have done plenty of safe overtaking manoeuvre today. I guess today traffic flow is just slower than normal. Not traffic flow, individuals traffic. Individuals causing traffic is more frequent today than usually. Which I guess one can account for by me having safely, in the eyes of everyone to my understanding, overtaken about a car every 10k today. Which usually one don't have to, because these are rural roads, countryside roads, Landstraßen. Speed limit is 100. Most of the time they are 100 kph restricted. Every now and then they're 70 for a junction. But most times, most traffic does do approximately the speed limit, which is what I'm fine with. I'm fine with 10 below the speed limit, L. But half the speed limit, really, people? And I had at least a handful of those today. I don't get it. Sometimes I feel like there's a memo that I've missed that have been put out with, oh, all the speed limits are half now. And it might well be a thing. I don't know if there's a neurotypical memo system where I just don't get the memo, you know. Sometimes I feel like I'm part of the out group. I'm not part of the in group. Don't smoke, smoking kills. What I have managed today is I've crossed the border, topped up on diesel, 95 litres, which means I still had 5 in reserve. Which is more than I thought I would after driving here, because I went on reserve at my place and I drove here, well, across the border. And I still had 5 litres in reserve, which means my reserve lasts approximately 100k. I got to try that sometime, but I don't really got the balls to, particularly considering I currently got a pretty new diesel filter. I should do that before having it changed. Oh well, you know. But that was not great of me. Guess that's why I'm taking a break. Yay. I am going to open up the driver's side window because there is very little noise around here. At this time, it's a cul-de-sac with a petrol station, 10k from the border, where all fuel, both petrol and diesel, is more than 10 cents cheaper than here. Which means it's basically dead cul-de-sac. I didn't tank here, surprise. But for transparency's sake, I went in a shop and bought a drink. Club Mate, I got it in my driver's side door. It's a fizzy tea-based drink, to my understanding. Don't taste very much like tea, just fizzy sweet drink. And asked if I could halt here for a break, and they said, oh yeah, just choose wherever. So I'm here in the one spot where there is no signage saying one cannot park, where there is shade. It's actually really rather pleasant. I am going to turn on the ignition just so I got some airflow. The camera's going to go shortly and say, oh, you've turned on the ignition. Sometimes I just feel like I'm not getting these memos. Same thing with what's socially adequate and what's socially inadequate to state. For me, sometimes it's really apparently not obvious. I believe I understand social norms and social rules. Yes, camera, I understand you're on. But then there is those situations where I behave, in my understanding, appropriately according to the rules. Social rules, that is, non-written rules. And it then turns out there was exceptional rules for this particular circumstance, which I was not aware of, which is why I misbehaved. And I guess that's how I'm feeling today with driving, just with so many people being so utterly slow. I don't know, it might be the temperature. I mean, we got 31.5 degrees centigrade in the shade and fairly high humidity. Then again, having opened up the driver's side window and putting it in the ignition to get some airflow do actually help. It don't feel quite as hot as it did a moment ago, but it's still bloody warm. I'm still sweating to shit, you know. And you can see the stain here. Blah. I'm still considering changing up my uniform from what it is currently. Platinum and anthracite shirts, at least the aspect of shirts of my uniform. Perhaps socks as well. I don't think I'll be switching pants up all that soon, but I am probably switching my trousers, at least for summer. Just for the sake of, I don't know, evolving my uniform. And I don't know how I feel about that, but I reckon I ought to document my current uniform just for the sake of it. Been throughout the ages, you know. Just if it's just a picture I got somewhere, it's handy for reference. Ooh, this is what I wore in this year, in these 5 years. Well, I guess it have been in 3 years that I've been wearing this uniform. And I'm only now reaching the point where I'm opening up the last of these t-shirts. I still got one more of these platinum, no, not platinum, anthracite, grey ones, and its original wrapper. And after that, I'd have to either order new ones or order other ones. Admittedly, most of these t-shirts I've been wearing for 3 years are at the point where they're fit to be turned into rags. For they've lost their colour and become a dirty grey most of the time, even when they're freshly washed. Particularly the platinum ones, but a lot of the anthracite ones as well, so, you know. That's another thing where I don't feel I've gotten a memo, or where I feel I have not gotten a memo. There we go, that's the right wording. With uniforms and so on, I like wearing my clothing to be utilitarian, but depending on which circle of friends I'm around, they choose to do non-uniform uniforms, I guess. Uniform in their ununiformity, de-uniformity, diversity, whatever one might want to call it. By the way, cracked open the Iron Brew. Haha. To the point where they seem correlated, but I wouldn't know. Sometimes I feel like there is just societal chat groups, IRC, subreddits, WhatsApp groups, whatever you might want, Discord servers, Discord channels, forums, where people correspond about this stuff, and I am not part of. I guess that's being not part of the in crowd. Then again, I might just imagine this, and as people just deciding on a whim, more or less simultaneously, to change things up. I mean, it's hard for me to believe that today there is so much traffic that I can, in my eyes, and in most cases in others' eyes as well, that I could, in my eyes and in others' eyes as well, safely overtake, no problem, because I'm not in a high power car. For this ship to overtake something safely, even in my eyes or in others' eyes, the other person either needs to be really below the speed limit, or you need a really long straight road with next to no oncoming traffic. And most every case there was distant oncoming traffic, but they were distant enough that they were not fussed by my overtaking, and I was not fussed by their being distant, because they'd have to accelerate to like 3 times the speed for it to become dangerous. 3 times the speed and speed limit, which in most cases is more than a motor vehicle can do. Hell, Golf 7 GTI can do 260, the diesel at least, is what I've heard. I don't have one, never driven one, but apparently they don't go quicker than 260, which isn't triple the speed limit. So they would not physically be able to go triple the speed limit, and a GTI is already not the base model, you know. Sometimes I just feel like I'm not getting memos. Everyone's being paged. Let's change this up, and I don't get the memos. But oh well, you know, I'll just do my own thing. In the end of the day, there's no point in assuming other people get memos and I do not, and changing my behaviour due to it. So there's no point in knowing if others get memos or not. For my reality, it's the same. And the phone screen just dimmed because it's too bloody warm for the phone. Yay. I just don't get it, man. Like, frankly, I do not. With the second overtaking manoeuvre, I did complain about myself to myself and push the button just so I can debrief myself later. But I do not deem it to have been a close call in the slightest. Oncoming traffic definitely did for some reason. I do not know why. From the time I switched back to my lane fully to the point I passed them was more than 2 seconds. That is with them coming the other way, which means double the speed as to static as to what my speed was, assuming they were going as quickly as I was. I could have very well misestimated their speeds. I mean, wouldn't know, you know. But I thought I was not too bad at that this time. With having quite some practice and being familiar with the speed limits around here, and being able to guess if someone is somewhere near the speed limit or way in excess of the speed limit. I don't think those were close calls at all. Then again, oncoming traffic did so, and if they think it's a close call, I should really reconsider, which is why I'm here having a break. I'm talking to myself, yay, debriefing in some way, though not with the footage. I may offload the footage off the camera later and debrief myself proper. If I have trouble coming to rest, I may. But I believe I'm comfortable enough with my position in those overtaking manoeuvres that I may very well not do that. Other than when I ran a red light day before yesterday, because that was uncomfortable. I have considered, but first off, I wouldn't want to spend the money, and second off, I don't know if I'd gain anything from it. Doing a driving school and just seeing if I'd still pass a test according to a driving instructor. I don't need another test, but I believe I'd still pass according to driving instructors, and I'd want to hear that just for reaffirmation, reconfirmation. But that probably is money down the drain, so it's not worth, you know. Then again, I may want to consider it. I may want to contact driving schools anyways. I mean, it'll be handy at the latest when I want to do another license. Either B197, I believe, or 196, which is up to 125 cubic, assuming you've had your car license for more than 5 years and are above 25 years of age. CE, BE, or C. CE being tractor trailer, open weight. C being trucks open weight and BE being 3.5 ton motor vehicle, which is what I already got with up to 3.5 metric ton trailer. And I guess with that, I ought to do the research in the mid to short term anyway on which driving schools I'd want to do and gather some experiences with them, which means I could kill 2 birds with a stone if I decided I'd spend drinks money or so, going out money for a month, just to have myself assessed in my driving. Because this is now the second out of the last 3 days which I've done in someone's eyes critical driving. A couple of days ago was in my own eyes, and today was in others' eyes. I don't like that. It's not good. It's just something I'll have to figure out. I do my best to stay safe, but I also really have a hard time dealing with the pressure of a lot of traffic behind me due to the person in front of me, I guess. I don't know. Because at the end of the day, if the car in the second position, being the first one in the slowing down position, if the one in the second position don't overtake, for the one in the third position, it's way harder to overtake safely, you know. I guess I may want to consider, though I probably won't because I like being aware too much, just not checking my rear views in a situation like that. I mean, I already drive as far right as possible for several reasons. First off, if fast traffic come from behind, an ambulance or so, I don't got to move then. Second off, one should be driving as far on the right within one's lane as one legally can. And third off, traffic behind can see what the hindrance in front of me is, because they can look past me. But, you know, I think I just need to take a chill pill and perhaps drive significantly below the speed limit myself. Then again, I wouldn't want to be a hindrance to traffic according to paragraph 1, number 2 StVO, Straßenverkehrsordnung, German rules of the road. It's just something I'm concerned with, I guess. It may still be that my standards for what is safe operation have changed, because this thesis crap is sitting in the back of my brain, you know. I don't know. I don't got a way of measuring it. Well, I guess the one way I do got is others' reactions, which earlier today were not great on my way here. Which in the past were not great. So that is a measurable metric in which my driving has changed. Not good. I just got to get this thesis crap printed. I reckon I'll go and have it printed Monday, hopefully. Hand it in, and then it's no longer in the back of my neck. Then again, I'll have always spent 400 hours plus more than I would have had to, or should have had to. So that's going to sit in the back of my neck for the rest of my life. Then again, cynical me can say, I told you so. A motorbike have just pulled up. Look like a 4-cylinder Suzuki. Let me close the windows for noise sake. Yeah, so I reckon I'll aim to not go above 90 with the speed limit being 100 on my way home. So not more than 90% of the speed limit should the speed limit be the national ceiling. At the national ceiling. And if I have traffic behind me, I'll just find a safe place to pull over on the right and let them pass, I guess. It's kind of problematic, you know, but that way I won't be hindering anyone. I'm not legally long enough, or this car is not legally long enough that I have to let people pass. You only have to do that once your vehicular combination is longer than 7 meters, and this car is 5 meter 39 and 8 millimeters long, which means I still got, give or take, 1.60 meters before I should have to let people pass. Then again, that's in the spirit with paragraph 1, number 2. So I reckon that's what I'll do. I'll just drive very chill. Make sure to pay more attention than I usually do, even though I'm already exclusively driving while I drive. I'm not checking my phone on the side as some people do. Fun anecdote on that, short tangent I guess. Earlier, just down this road, literally, I was in the left turning lane to go to Poland, and next to me in the straight and right turning lane, there was a car standing with a granny on her phone, typing away, you know. The light turned green, she just kept typing away. It took her like 8 seconds to realise the light was green. There weren't no traffic behind her, so no one aided her in stating, oh look, the light is green, you may want to go. And I just couldn't help but laugh my arse off. I know it's not the most civil thing to let others sit at a green light, but if they ain't hindering anyone, because they're too busy on their phone, they're just hindering themselves. I found that kind of amusing. Guess that's something I can claim for myself. When I am driving, I am exclusively driving. My brain is on the road, my hands are on the road, my eyes are on the wheel. My eyes are on the road, my hands are on the wheel. Yeah, so that's something I'll hopefully manage. I reckon I'll try to do max 90% of the speed limit, should it be the national speed limit, on my way home from here, which is still like 40k. And I won't do any more driving today unless I really can't help myself. There we go, that's less noisy, sorry for that. I guess one thing I can also claim is I'm sitting here thinking about it and talking to myself. Then again, is also partially making up excuses, so I fully acknowledge that. Partially using things for explanation which are not excuses. And partially speculating on those explanations. But I do highly believe not many another motorist does this. For I've never seen any motorists do this kind of thing. I even frequently ask other motorists I know, in this situation, I've done this, show them video. Do you think I've done right or not? Or do you think I should change the behaviour? To the point where these days, even though I may have the right of way, with a zebra crossing, if there's cyclists pedalling toward it, I don't even honk my horn. I stop. Because though they haven't the right of way, and I am entitled to keep going, and I am entitled to honk my horn to warn them there is a car coming, because they have no entitlement to cross the road and cut off traffic, I no longer just keep going, not even with honking my horn. I stop, let the cyclist cross, because apparently that's the socially adequate way of doing it, though it's not legal. That's the spirit of the law, not the letter, I guess. I don't know. I mean, if a cyclist is on the footpath, their maximum allowed speed is walking pace anyways, which generally is accepted as 7 kph. That's a fast walking pace, man, but you know. But then some come along with 20 plus kph on the footpath and just pedal across the pedestrian crossing, expecting the whole world to stop for them. And in the past that ain't set right with me. It still don't set right with me, but I have now come to understand that for other motorists whom I respect for their motoristing, they are of the opinion that a car should stop, so I stop. Guess that's part of me bending over to society at large. Funny how that works. Another thing, totally unrelated subject, I got to start doing sometime, is when I was migrated a week and a bit ago, a week ago actually, well no, a week and a bit ago, yeah, a week ago I was still migrated, and I actually picked up some old analog film cameras out of storage with the intent of selling them. So I got an inventory of them, and I reckon I'll send most of them to the camera store in Finland. They do inspections and tell you what they'd give you for them, free of charge, and if you don't like the offer, you can have them shipped back at their expense. Then again, shipping them there initially is your expense, but I guess that's worth, just because they are on the rise. They have been for a while. And I have a lot of Canon FD mount lenses, which is old standard, which is in again, apparently. I mean, I understand film photography and all. I got my one film camera I ain't going to get rid of, which is an Olympus, don't ask me what. Was my dad's primary camera for all of my life, at least, that he did use analog. I'm going to keep that one, though I'll have to get it maintained because the spring is getting weak for the shutter, which means the shutter don't release unless you release immediately after tensioning the spring. Not great, but should be fixable. Don't think I'll try that myself, though, oddly enough. Just because cameras, they got all them springy things in them, you know. You open something up, 10 things come flying toward you. It's not fun. Well, at least if you don't know where those 10 things belong. I reckon I'll probably actually walk around the building once or twice, or walk around this yard here a couple of times before I get going again, just so I've gotten up and stretched myself a bit. Because sitting all the time ain't healthy. Another thing, back to the main subject, I guess, or to the second main subject. Across the board, I did eat out scrambled eggs with mushrooms. Don't know the name of the mushrooms in English. Pfifferlinge in German. A bread roll, some Coke, and a coffee. And it all costs $15 including tipping. So that's fine for me, you know. In case like that, I believe it's socially adequate to tip, particularly if the service is good. Though I do not support the idea of an Americanization of tipping culture. Tipping should remain for good service. Service was good though, so I did tip. Plus, it mean a lot less to me because there's a lot less purchasing power here than it is in Poland, which is, I guess, a funny way of looking at it. Because it's me being irresponsible with my economics, tipping €1.50, you know, but is bettering the world more than it is reducing my quality of life, I guess. I just got to learn the value of money, man. Guess good news is, in 6 weeks' time, I'll be working to pay my rent. So, problem is, much looking like the work I'm going to be doing is going to be fun for me, which means I'll still not learn the value of money. Because I'm going to have fun and I'll get paid for it. Fingers crossed, damn good luck that actually works, you know. If it don't work, I'll have to apply. I'll have to be applying by then for jobs. I am still confident I'll get a job come latest October, if not September. So that's something, you know. Yeah, but I'm not happy, you know. Well, in life I am happy, but with the main issue at hand, which is my driving today, I'm not happy with it, which is why I've taken this break. Thank you very much for sticking around watching me talk to myself, by the way. It means the world to me. Yeah, I guess I'm happy in life overall. It's just minor quirks that need ironing out, you know. Another thing I looked at is upgrading my shelving mid to long term to 8 nut alu extrusions, aluminium or aluminum for the Americans, instead of heavy duty shelving, which is what I currently got, because with the 8mm nut alley extrusion, I'd be able to make the shelving fit my Euronorm crates perfectly and maximize my usage of space. It's a dangerous road because it's going to make moving even harder. But I reckon it's going to be worth it, and I spec'd out enough alley rail for at least one big shelf unit, equivalent to what I currently have for shelf. And it costs approximately 4 times what the heavy duty shelving costs per shelf. Then again, you get more utilization out of the space for that. Ooh, a Chevy. I would not know which kind. An ancient one though, by the looks of it. If I'd have to guess, I'd say 50s. You didn't see it, but I did. It's going to maximise my space utilisation, and it's going to improve my quality of life significantly. So mid to long term, I reckon I'll get 1 or 2 of those shelf equivalent alley extrusion lots a month while I get paid, and I'll be able to have that be less than 10% of my monthly income, which means I can still put some aside and live comfortably. While improving my quality of life. Fingers crossed, damn good that actually works, you know. Yeah, so I definitely want to be driving to the point where others do not feel unsafe in their motor vehicles around me. I guess that's my aim for general driving, but I'll take particular focus on it on my way home. Hope you manage to focus on whatever you aim to focus on at this time, I guess. Stay safe, I'll see you around. Cheerio.